Okay, artists, if you haven't finished your sunflower weaving, go ahead, grab your loom, let's get started. Remember that we're still just going with our over, under process. You can see here on mine, I left off where I had a under, so I needed to go over and then under. Over, then under. Now, take your time, go slow. It can be tricky and your yarn can get a little bit caught. So go ahead. Pull it once at a time. Once you go over and then under, pull it through, all the way through. Then go over, under, over, under. Keep repeating that process, okay? Do it one at a time, go nice and slow. You can see here, I'm gonna show you a little bit before I speed it up. I'm just going one at a time, over, under, and it's creating that pattern, right? So we can always check, well, if the last one that we just did, we're able to pull it to the side and we see, well, it looks like I went over or I went under, then you know what your next one's gonna be because it always goes in that pattern, over, under, over, under. You guys got this. Keep going around and around and around. Until you have a completed sunflower center. Okay, here's what you need to do now that you are at the end of your yarn. Go ahead, pick one of the strings of your loom and take your brown yarn and just tie a little knot around it. So you can always just come and create a little loop, push the end of your brown yarn through the loop and pull, and voila, you have now your sunflower center tied off. You can go ahead, take a little bit of scissors and cut off the extra piece of yarn. Just make sure you don't accidentally cut part of your loom. And there you go. You have your completed sunflower weaving. Okay, here's a little extra thing you can do. This is totally optional. You can grab a toilet paper roll, some green coloring materials. I'm gonna use paint here today. You can also grab some scissors and some paper. Okay, first thing, you could go ahead, take that toilet paper roll and paint it green. Or again, use coloring materials to make it green, whether it's marker or crayon. Now, maybe you're already catching on to what we're doing here. Something green that's vertical. And could possibly be pairing it with our sunflower. I sure do wonder. Now remember to get our tints, right? We take our hue, which is our color, and we mix white into it, okay? So if I have green and I wanna make light green, that's right, I gotta mix white, that makes it a tint. So maybe on my toilet paper roll here, I might add a little bit of white. How about that? All right, I'm gonna set this off to the side to dry. Now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna grab my piece of paper. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna draw some leaves. So remember that you could always start by creating a curve and then repeating that same curve on the other side, right? That creates the symmetry of the curve. Or you could go ahead and you could draw a circle with a little bit of a triangle top. Okay, now do we understand what we're getting onto? We've made now our stem and we're doing our leaves. Now, if I wanna go ahead and I wanna create some extra veins inside my leaf, remember, I can create a shade to get a little bit of a darker green. So that's gonna be my green plus my black, that gets my shade. Fantastic. Go ahead, set these off to the side to dry for a minute. Or if you're already, if you use different coloring materials, not paint, then you can go ahead and grab your scissors and let's start cutting. So my pieces here are dry. Check it out. I have my 2 leaves, I have my stem, and I have them all cut out. Now I can go ahead and grab some tape. You could also use some glue. I'll show you here with some tape. Now, to put your leaves on your stem, your toilet paper roll, you're gonna wanna create a little bit of a foot, okay? Now, that means go ahead to the bottom of your leaf and just slightly fold it over a little bit so that it can stand up, right? Creates a little bit of a extra piece that we can then tape down onto our stem. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this on both sides, then I'll come to the back and I'll make sure I put part of my tape, again, or some glue. You can put it on the back of the leaf as well as on the stem. And maybe you wanna put one a little bit higher than the other. You decide where you want your leaves to go. And that's right, last step, go ahead, grab your sunflower. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna put a little bit of tape, okay, that goes onto the back of your loom, and then a little bit of tape that goes onto the inside front of your toilet paper roll. Okay, now you may also want to add just a little bit of tape or a little bit of glue onto the very front of your roll. I'll show you here, I'm going to put mine, because you may need a little bit of extra support for your sunflower, but check it out. Oh, how beautiful is it? You now have a little sunflower sculpture that you made from your sunflower weaving. Nice job, guys. All right, I'll see you next week. Can't wait to see what yours look like.